such a nerd. Do you like metamorphic rock? Do you like Paleolithic rose quartz?
Yeah, I like amorphous.
I don't love
rocks.
sedimentary.
What?
We're such nerds.
Nah.
Isn't it so cool that we're such nerds?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We can look at it in my polarizing microscope. Don't you think that's cool?
Wow.
Oh my
When you
God,
say
I'm a
microscope, I'm
nerd.
hot.
Oh my God, I'm a nerd. I'm really over. I'm over. I think we finally went past the era of taking back the word nerd.
I think so. I thought that was going to turn into an interview with the rock monster again from Kansas.
No.
I thought that's where we were going.
That don't. That may happen.
That may happen.
Lots of igneous puns.
Our one geologist is
Yes.
going to love it.
She's just going to be finger blasting herself.
I agree. Let's talk nerd. So speak to that.
It's like, it's this idea of I'm such a nerd, and it used to be such a thing of people go nerd and stuff you in your locker, and now nerd means anything that's cute. It's like cute when someone's nerdy, and like, oh, I love a nerd, but you really don't, because a nerd is like full on Revenge of the Nerds pocket protector. You don't like that kind of nerd. You
Yeah.
want a hot nerd.
You want a hot nerd.
Let's
Yeah.
be specific.
You want Cameron.
You want Cameron
Who was
is
the
your
hottest
nerd.
at all?
So
Cameron or boy, they were just last season. I can't even remember the guy who was the artist who draws shoes.
Brett.
Or Brett.
Okay,
Like,
Brett
he wasn't really a nerd.
No,
Cameron was a nerd.
Cameron was a nerd. But you don't want gay guys to say, "Oh, I love nerds." You don't want me talking about Star Trek for the first 30 minutes of our date
No.
and how the uniforms are slightly different. Or
No.
you don't want me going on and on about, I don't know, something about poetry or musical theater. Then makes you feel comfortable. You want me to be hot and kind of nerdy about one thing, and you want to say when that limit is. So I'm sick of this nerd shit. We're such nerds.
I didn't want to hear about it now.
Exactly.
Exactly. Even when they're talking about it. This is Love is Blind.
Love is blind.
Love is blind.
We're back. Season 5.
We're back together.
I was ready for that rant. I will say, Milton is a straight up nerd, but women who say, "Oh my God, I love a nerd," I guarantee you, 30 minutes into a conversation with him about Paleoscolazic or whatever, women are going to say, "Yeah, can you not talk about that anymore?"
I think taking back the word nerd is people don't want to say I'm smart.
That is so true.
And I get it. We live in a society where we're not supposed to brag about ourselves. But I say, lean into that. Like, let's words
I'm not
define
an idiot.
everything. Like, say, yeah, I'm smart. Like, was it Aaliyah said, I'm a smart woman? Or somebody I wrote down, and I went, I love that they own the fact
love
that
her.
she's my favorite.
I love
I
her.
love Aaliyah.
And I'm going to spend the whole season watching Uche destroy her.
Save it.
I know everyone else.
God.
I know everyone else watched the last 12 minutes with your mouths open.
It was like watching
a puppy get kicked.
No, it was actually watching like when you watch a David Attenborough documentary, and he all the time you got to know this little beautiful family of antelopes.
Yeah.
And there was Ricky the antelope, who you saw be born from his mother's womb. You saw his antelope legs.
Ricky, a normal
walk
antelope
for the first
name.
time. Yes.
Like me after I've been fucked by a big dick.
Yeah, Bambi legs.
Bambi legs.
Ricky, who walks the Serengeti, who walks the
steppes of Central Asia.
Yes, who learns how to climb on rocks. You see every moment of Ricky.
And then Uche comes up the alligator.
Uche is the alligator when Ricky's getting drinks and just bites Ricky's head off and kills him immediately. And David Attenborough says, and that is nature, the circle of life. And you go, oh God, why does it have to be this way?
And
That's exactly how I felt.
It's worse than that, because the thing about it, the worst thing here is you saw this man's propensity for cruelty and how he did not care how this woman was sounding, and he went into lawyer mode, and it was
He's probably
terrifying.
a very good attorney.
Oh, I'd say he basically said, permission to treat the witnesses hostile,
Yeah.
Your Honor.
Oof.
I will say, I've never seen anything like this in 5 seasons of Love is Blind,
It was
in the pods.
no.
And I think this is someone who, in person, might read cues better, but it was appalling.
I mean,
We're
we're
gonna
going to talk
talk about
blame it
it.
on the edit. By the way, y'all, this is Love is Blind season 5.
Question: how do you blame that on the edit?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
I'm saying that you could, like he probably will.
Yeah.
And we don't see a lot of it. But what I was going to say is we've watched episodes 1 and 2. We're going to talk about 1, and then we're going to talk about 2 on a separate podcast. But some things might leak out. So I would say,
Like me after a really
God.
heavy Italian dinner.
ciao.
She's leaking marinara.
Wow. Just out of poodle. Are your eyes bleeding? Nope. Rayo's. They gave me that. They gave me the second meal to take home, and I eat it right now.
Oh God. What country do we live in where you can just order a second meal?
That's why they closed at the Grove. I think because they were giving food away.
You mean Maggiano's?
Yes.
No, that's Olive Garden does that.
No, Maggiano's does that.
Maggiano's does that
Yes.
too.
Well, they used to. The one at the Grove is closed.
I always
I want to go to that Olive
that
Garden
food
by me now.
always tasted bad to me. It
You'd
was
eat-
too filling.
You'd eat breadsticks right now if I put them in front of
Yes,
your
I
face.
would.
And that sounds delicious. Breadsticks and salad.
I love their salad.
We should go do that
We're
today.
so basic.
We should go. We're going to go see The Sound of Music tonight. We could go before and have it's Italian.
I don't want to do that.
I don't either. I want someone to bring it to me. Okay, this is Love is Blind. This is on the public feed,
It's
y'all.
on your public feed.
This and next episode will be public feed too. These are normally only on RG Plus at the $5 tier. If you're interested, if you like these 2 episodes and you're like, I'm a thirsty dick pig and I need more, then go to realitygates.com.
Join the club.
Yes, join the club. Or you can just look in the show notes wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can do that. There
Sounds
you
great.
go. We just dropped season 3 all on our public feed. But if you want to listen to season 4, that's behind the paywall too at the $5 tier.
And if
so you can
you've
listen to that.
forgotten what season 3 was, that was the eye drops. I just need to say
That was
eye
the
drops.
Yeah.
And also, that was Alexa and Brennan, and how I loved them at the beginning, kind of liked them at the end.
Producer Christina read you for filth.
And as soon as they started posting on social media, I despised them.
boy,
I also didn't like her in After the Altar. She turned into a complete mean girl.
who was After Altar? Yeah, that we
Yeah.
really didn't like.
Yeah.
Who knew? 5 seasons of Love is Blind. It feels like we were just sitting at a Airbnb in Orange County trying to watch a live stream of this.
Several months ago. Oh wait, it was. This is we are having our first. This is our first DP in 1 year. Because we had a season that was in the
I
same
think
year.
this will be the new normal. Now that COVID's kind of, I think we're going to
Yeah.
have two
Two
seasons
seasons
a year.
within a year.
They're going to do
'Cause
one
they
around
can film
Valentine's
them.
Day, one in the fall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they can film them pretty quickly,
yeah.
and it's cheap.
They film all of this basically within a month.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I think it's maybe a little long. I think maybe
I'll ask
6
my neighbor
weeks.
who edits it.
I can't believe they're giving you. They won't give you any more access.
She
to
won't
that.
tell me a damn thing. She's so good.
Well, why would she tell you how long it is?
Well, maybe she'll tell me that. That's true. She doesn't tell me a thing.
Could we give this person sodium pentothal?
No, I don't think so.
I think you can order it off the internet.
They're
You can get everything off the
They're
internet.
editing season 20 of Love is Blind right now. That's how many they got in the can.
You were kidding me. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't doubt it.
What? Okay, season 5.
Houston.
What's your
As my
first,
dad says, Houston.
What's your first impression?
I love Houston.
I
think
mean
it's
the
great.
people.
Oh.
I don't give a shit about Houston. I know it takes me forever to drive across it, and I was annoyed.
It's got a lot of sprawl. Yeah.
Yeah.
That big Sam Houston statue.
And it was very hot when
very
I was
hot,
there.
humid, as they say. You
Yeah.
know, Sam Houston's got the big statue dick.
What?
I don't know. You know the Houston,
I'm
the Stan
asking
Houston.
you about the cast.
Okay. I gotta say this. Maybe it's just where I was this morning when I watched or whatever. I'm not really attracted to any of the men.
Okay.
I
wasn't necessarily asking for attraction. I was just
no. That was
but yes.
like usually there's guys who are like, oh my god, he's hot. I don't feel that for any of them.
The cutest to me is Mr. America JP.
Probably Izzy to me
Oh yeah, Izzy's hot.
because I love a man with a bald
I
head.
think Chris is really cute.
Chris is cute. He
Yeah.
just seems like a little boy to me. He seems young.
Yeah.
Like
What
I
do you
would
want them
defile.
to be? 55?
I don't know. There just wasn't, maybe probably they're good guys. They're not a Bilal. They don't have this sense of not Bilal.
Jesus.
Other B word.
I don't know who you're talking
The
about.
guy who I was attracted to, who's terrible.
Bartiz? Yeah, you have really shitty taste,
I think they got-
especially in this game.
And I ironically was never attracted to Uche. I should have been. Going from my past, I should have been. Who knew? But
Fucking Patrick Bateman, Uche.
So-
Jesus Christ.
I love some of the women, but overall, it feels. I actually thought the first 30 minutes, I was like, this episode feels a little boring, and then it kind of really picked up in the
Then
end.
things changed.
So what do
I'm-
you think overall?
I'm like you. None
Nobody
of the-
seems like a reality star immediately, like we've gotten before. To me,
Yeah. I think Lydia to an extent, but she's more of a mess than anything else.
mm-hmm.
Even though I like her, but
I do too.
I don't want to be in a relationship with her. I think that would be
I- she likes attention. She likes to be loved. So she's,
Yeah.
she's extra. And so if you don't want to be around that, then that's going to be a lot for you.
I think she needs someone who's extremely grounded.
She's not your type of person.
No.
You would not.
I could see me she'd be sitting there and I'm just inching away from her as she she was fun.
No, I think after a while I think she would actually be like, I think she would actually just, I would say, what do you think about Lydia? You would go look at me with your father poodle face and say, she hurts my ears. Because she was just loud. I really think it would hurt your ears.
Also, I think on a show like this, or just in general in life, you need to ixnay on the open beating nerve way of your personality.
Well, we'll talk about. They talk about episode 2, but they talk about it in 1 too. But we've talked about this before about what vulnerability
Yes.
is. Because
there's vulnerability, and then there's oversharing.
there's just
Yeah,
yes.
and I don't think she knows the difference.
I think Aaliyah was showed vulnerability.
Yes.
Lydia does seem to. I think there are people. I think she's a caretaker person. Actually,
I agree. Yeah.
So you can see when someone does share vulnerability, she gets off on that.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that's,
No.
that feeds her.
Yeah.
Again, I'm trying to not use words you use in the bedroom.
I know it's hard
Gets off,
because there's a
feeds.
huge vocabulary. I will say, I'm sure she's great with the other women, but
Oh yeah.
I think there is a reason why this woman has not found love, and there is this idea that she thinks that it's an easy thing to believe in, and it does feel fair that if you're giving everything to this person and you've just shared this, then the other person should reciprocate. And it's just not like that. It's that fundamental belief that she has that's going to sabotage everything for her.
Well, there's really a fallacy in anyone's thinking if you think just because I do something,
Yeah.
then
It's
that
transactional in that way.
well, and that person will appreciate that and give that
Mhm.
back to me. Sadly, that's not how the world works.
No.
Because sometimes people who are um, a little probably more emotionally healthy will see, oh, you shared with this. Let me meet you there too. A lot of people don't do that
But
though.
and sharing and being vulnerable with someone has to be its own reward.
Yeah.
You can't expect it.
We're gonna talk about it in episode 2 too. Because that
I
comes
like
up a lot.
I like a lot of the women too. I surprisingly liked Taylor more than I thought I would.
You mean Micah too?
No.
Not the way she acts, but the way she looks and the way she talked. It's so much like
a
Micah.
little.
Oh, she
I didn't
even
see
looks
it.
like her to me.
Oh, she doesn't look like her at all to me.
Oh, she does to me. But no, I like Taylor.
Yeah.
She comes off a lot better than Micah did.
Definitely.
A lot.
And I really like Aaliyah. I think Aaliyah's but I don't see. I'm just saying this now. And I'm being realistic about this. I don't see this being a good helpful season for Aaliyah.
You know, I think
sadly.
the best relationship Aaliyah could get in is with Lydia, her best friend. That's what I want.
I agree.
I want them to go on a girls' trip and say, fuck these guys.
And Stacy's kind of like a little bit of a watered down version of Shayna.
Yeah, she doesn't get too deep.
Yeah.
And
But I like Stacy more than Shayna.
yes, there's not a villain. We've had for several seasons.
Yeah.
Well, no, Uche didn't come
I
off.
think Uche
Yeah,
is going to be that
yeah, I
villain
think
for
Uche's
us.
I guess in the women, we had Shayna, we had
There's no-
Micah,
No.
What's her name?
I see
We don't have any of
villain potential and reluctant villain potential in Johnny because she'll weaponize her own hurt.
Possibly. I like Johnny right now, though.
Oh, this
This is the thing with Love is Blind, though, y'all. We like all these people for the most part at first, and then by the end of the show, we'll end up loving Uche and hating Aaliyah. You never know.
that'll never happen. I'm telling you that right now.
It won't. I love Aaliyah. Oh,
But
I love her.
we're not going to wind up loving you. Uche has shown us who he is.
You never know. You could love him. You never know. Chris Cordell, he turns your heart.
Chris Cordell.
Whoever made this show,
Chris Colon.
same thing. Colon?
Yeah,
Like your colon?
but there's an E in there.
Colone.
Coelen.
Oh. Mr. Colon.
Yes.
Okay.
Gerlin.
Y'all-
Let's move on.
So this is episode 1. So you're a recent cheater. Again,
So you're a recent cheater. I will never forget that statement.
shout out to Netflix for having a yeah, you better turn on Timey.
Yep.
Shout out to Netflix for having a great relationship with us, and they
Shout out to Netflix
Well,
for
they're
having a great relationship with us. They're so lucky they can have a
no,
great
shout out to
relationship
Netflix
with
for giving us screeners of these, and that's how we're able to drop this all with you.
Yes.
And also, y'all, be sure to listen to our collab that we did. Right? Haven't we?
Ace and Caitlin. It's
No.
Oh,
this
sorry.
is airing 2 weeks from now, or a week and a
Fuck
half.
me.
Ace
I
and
can't, I cannot be held accountable for whatever I say.
Ace and Caitlin, their Sister Wives collab was like a week and a half ago.
That was in 2022.
Basically. But no, we did a Love is Blind collab.
I can't transport myself like Voyagers, the show.
We're doing a lot of Love is Blind collabs.
Yes.
We're doing. I don't think
Two
it's
Black
out, but
Girls, One Rose.
2 Black Girls, 1 Rose. I don't know if that's out at this time. And then also we're doing a
Bad TV.
Bad TV. Yeah, we're doing so much right now. We need an assistant.
Yeah. Preferably a hot one.
No.
We
Our
don't got HR at Reality Games.
no. Our intern is already a handsome young straight man. No more. We got one. That's it.
Good thing I've got his number and we can
Yeah.
text
No.
freely.
Thank you.
Strangely, he blocked all images that I was sending him.
Yes, I told him. I said never accept a GIF from Poods.
It's probably a better idea.
Probably because it's going to be a homemade GIF.
Just me like eating Jif peanut butter. or putting it somewhere else,
Putting
if
it
you know what I
somewhere
mean.
else. Yeah. Okay, so
Chocolate donut.
y'all, the Lachey's come in. They're talking to the
Boo!
men's quarter and the women's quarter.
I hate these two.
I don't hate
want
them.
gone.
I don't hate them. They were terrible at the reunion, but
They're awful.
I still like her. I do. I think she's
After
funny.
that weirdo,
That
like,
was not great that
Handmaid's Tale performance.
that she kept asking about the babies. Yes, that was
She's
weird.
She's also shitty. Remember her and Jackie with Jackie and Josh? In what? No one watching thought this was healthy
No, that's
except
true.
for her.
I don't know. I still.
Nope. Don't like her. They need to switch it up. They need to switch these people out for someone else. I think it's because they're producers.
Yeah, I don't think it's
So-
going to happen.
No, it won't. I just don't.
A lot
like
of people
them.
thought Cam and Lauren were going to be hosting the tell. I don't think any of that's going to happen, y'all. No, they produce his stuff.
There's some kind of ownership / production thing here that's probably not going to happen. They did a petition or something. I was like, y'all petition in one hand and piss in the other.
Nick's
when
about to
it
be-
comes to entertainment.
Yeah, Nick Lachey's about to be busy anyway because I'm sure 98 Degrees is going to go on tour again because they're all doing it now.
Oh, they are. Are all of them alive?
NSYNC's coming back. Do you not know about this?
I know NSYNC is.
Oh my God!
I don't know. I don't know if NSYNC is going on tour again.
That's the rumor. Yeah, they haven't.
Oh.
They haven't. They're putting out an album. Let's all go. Let's do it today. I can't take it. It's too much.
Well-
Backstreet Boys are coming back.
I guess they're all going to get trainers and they're going to work off that extra.
They're all doing it. The rumor is in the Beehive. Someone's calling you. The rumor is in the Beehive that
potential spam.
it's going to be a Destiny's Child tour.
I thought they called it the Bayhive.
Whatever. I'm not a Beehive person. I like Beyonce. Loved the
Do you think
concert, but I'm not a Beehive
they would
person.
they would do a
That's the rumor. Yeah.
okay.
You know who I would love to see? SWV. Remember them?
They had a show.
Did
most
they
recently.
really?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me?
Sometimes I feel like
A reality show?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I think I did tell you, and all I do is tell you, oh, like the sun's shining outside. Like, why did you tell me?
I do say that.
I'm not responsible.
I would love to see them in concert with Tevin Campbell.
Little T.
Little T.
I have not thought about Little T, Tevin Campbell,
And Shanice.
and Shanice.
That was my middle school. All right, let's move on.
Oh.
Anyway, so 98 Degrees is going on tour, but I'm going to be there for NSYNC. You bet your ass.
I want all people who basically stole all the Taylor Swift tickets. Let people who were born not in this century get tickets first, because y'all, we have a hard enough time.
We do.
at least give us that time.
We do.
Don't get those tickets first.
No, I agree.
We don't, and we get very upset.
I don't know if a lot of 20-year-olds were gonna want to hear NSYNC.
They would,
Although
just
now they like
to
them
be
'cause they're-
retro.
Well, their parents like. If that makes you old, 20-year-olds like NSYNC because that's the group my mom liked.
We need to move on. That's depressing.
Okay.
Let's
yes.
jump in.
Yeah. Let's jump
Lydia
in.
is a geologist from Puerto Rico.
The pods are open.
She's 30. She's been told she's too much by a lot of people, and I would agree with them.
It's a lot,
Yeah, it's a lot.
but you
It's a
know,
lot.
it's we have friends that are from. I'm thinking of one friend in particular who is Puerto Rican, and we call her Woohoo Girl.
Yeah.
So
but
there is a culture because when she's out and about, it's always like, hey, it's a party.
There's a sense of a lack of perspective, though, of self-perspective.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the Achilles heel going through
I
here.
think there's a lot of with Lydia. Let me throw myself out there.
Yeah.
So that way you can judge everything and leave me quickly.
And you can
so that way
destroy me.
I don't have to play the long game and get my heart broken.
Maybe this is also something that happened this
People
season.
really aren't that complicated.
And they're really not. Like fucking Johnny picking every pattern she's ever done. That's why I kind of, you mentioned her, I kind of like her, but damn, I see her as weaponizing every hurt that she has.
She
later
could.
on.
She could, yeah.
I just see, and to her partner and to other people in the.
So pretty.
She is.
Her
Yeah.
eyes, yeah.
Um.
So yeah, we see Lydia. Where are we?
One thing I noticed this season is they all jump in immediately with "What's your age? How do you want kids right away?"
They want to know their job too. We don't
Yeah.
get that a lot. I do think Ernesto's hot, and then he burps.
The one who burps in her
Yeah.
face. Well, I don't think we're ever going to see him.
We're not.
Unless spoiler alert, we've seen the first 2 episodes, so I kind of know who the 5 are going to be already, or at least the 5 men and 5 women, but because of how much we've seen. Sometimes in the 3rd episode we get a rando couple who we haven't seen. That was like the Colleen and Matt slot. Remember that slot?
Yeah, y'all. There's always couples that get together too that we never see.
Yeah.
Because we found out who got together last season and proposed, and we never saw it.
What's her name? Milagro.
Milagro.
Milady.
Milady.
Milan. Josh and Monica.
Monica. Monica, dance a waltz. How could you forget? Josh and
Milagro.
fucking Josh. We saw that in After the Altar.
Yeah. So Milton is just leans in with the metamorphic rock, and when she finds out she's a geologist, and he's like, "I have a polarizing microscope in my apartment."
She's a geologist. He's an engineer, but he has a specialty in engineering. I think he works y'all at Houston, so a lot of people work
Oil and gas.
Oil and gas. So I think he looks at rocks where they can find oil.
Yeah. Now, he's 24.
Yes.
I'm very thankful that this season there's not a lot of 23 and 24-year-olds.
No.
Like on the ultimatum, looks like people are around. There's like a 27-year-old, there's a 30, there's a 33.
Mm-hmm.
That's better.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish we had a 35, 36-year-old woman and man. But
Yeah.
I don't think
We're
have
not gonna
that.
we'll get it on the Golden Bachelor.
That's right. This is announced after that.
We can talk about that now.
Yes.
See, I'm letting you talk about things.
I didn't like the way you introed it. So I like when she's like, "What's your age?" He's like, "What's your age?" 30. How old do I sound? 28. I'm actually 24. Yikes. You're
wouldn't have told-
younger than my brother.
I wouldn't have. I think that is. I would have said, you know what? I would have said, no, I'm not telling my age, and I don't want to know your age. That's not the point of this.
I think we should not talk about each other's ages.
I think women often bring that up because women want to have children. A lot, not all
Yeah.
of them, but they're
But
thinking
they're
about.
all 30.
But
You know what?
that
I would say
35 number
I would say
freaks women out.
35. 35 may be a discussion where we need to have kids within the next 5 years.
But of course, men aren't thinking of that because they can be 50 and have a kid. Be like fucking Robert De Niro. We've talked
And
about
Al
him.
Pacino.
And Al Pacino in their 80s having a kid. And guess what? Robert De Niro divorced to the 26-year-old wife.
There you are, y'all. Maddie's opinion of 80
God.
versus 26 years old, they don't work.
It doesn't work.
What a controversial opinion.
Does Leo DiCaprio have any kids?
No.
At least he did.
That he knows of.
Because he never gets married. I bet Christopher
Oh,
Jamal Evans will have a kid with that young one.
I'm
so
certain-
upset by that.
I am certain he's had a vasectomy a long time ago.
Chris
'cause-
Evans?
No, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, that's probably true.
They age out real quickly with him. He's dating another
Real quick.
24-year-old. Another cocktail waitress.
Although he seems happy. Maybe I'll get rich and do that and just fuck 24-year-olds.
Why do you think he seems happy?
I don't know. I don't know if he's happy or not. Anyway, he's driving his Prius, feeling good about the environment or not.
And
So-
finger banging his 24-year-old.
There he goes. Okay, so Lydia and Milton geek out, but then she meets Izzy. This comes back later. Izzy's 29-year-old insurance agent. Again, I don't know why they're up at their job so much, but his family's Mexican. But
and he is hot.
But he later
and
found
bald.
out his biological father has all these siblings. Put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that.
So
Episode 2.
he basically says, and this is really interesting.
He's dating the wrong women, by the
He
way.
asks her. I totally agree.
What woman looks at a man with a bald head and goes,
But here's the thing. That is your thing. There are women who don't like that.
they're wrong.
Okay, I know, but I'm saying that for you to not understand there are women
I don't.
But that is a real thing.
I think it's wrong. There's something in your head. You got a chip.
Well, you
Ooh, I
also
love a bald-headed man.
you're gauging your fetish.
It's not my fetish. I don't think about them just pummeling me
yeah.
and little beads of sweat just go up on their head, and I put my hands on the head and I rub it around and I say, "Yeah, Daddy, yeah,
Yeah, Baldy.
get it, Baldy,
Give it to me, Uncle Fester.
Woo! Fester me, fester fuck me." Wow, give me that thing.
Give me a Daddy Warbucks.
Yeah, where is thing? Thing, fist me. Happy
So
Halloween.
I think you may be you may have
Again.
a little bit of blindness there. I will say I've seen someone who I've been seeing someone who shaves their head, and it's not. I like hair though.
Yeah.
I like hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a deal breaker for me, but
Mhm.
I'm sure there are women out there who think it's gross, but that's a shame. Yeah.
You're wrong.
For me, it's what's on the inside that counts.
Yeah, that's it.
What's on the inside? Actually, it's what's on your pants that counts.
It is what's on the inside. What's on the inside of you?
For me,
It better be at least
for
8
me, it's
inches.
what's inside me that counts.
Yes.
That's how we change that. See?
That's how we
For
change.
me, it's what goes inside me that
Wow.
counts.
Wow. I hope that they just heard that at the Chick-fil-A you were getting a sandwich at.
Poor little Robert.
Poor little
He's
Robert.
just trying to buy a truck.
He's just trying to get a pickup truck selling crisscross fries, thinking of Christ.
His voice just changed.
He just, after you drove away, he went, wow. Okay.
He's going to pray for us tonight at the youth group meeting.
He is. So, Stacy, Stacy talks to Izzy. Oh, I'm sorry,
I
go
just want
ahead.
to say one thing about Lydia and Izzy.
Yeah.
Um,
I said that like I wanted to fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And they get right into talking about kids and she's always like, "When are you going to propose?" This is the thing. I think Lydia is taking everything very seriously, but she's not trying to even with Love is Blind, you got to do a dance.
You do.
There's got to be a little bit of a dance here. And so when you say propose, they're like, "Oh, going to propose now." There's part of me that thinks that Lydia is expecting them to propose when they first meet her.
Maybe she didn't watch the show.
I don't
Maybe she doesn't
know.
get it. I mean, I think Lydia's probably very competitive with herself. Also, too, y'all. I mean, we have to call this. It is an elephant in the room because it comes out usually always later. People know by now if they don't couple up with someone, they're not going to be on the rest of the show.
That's true.
They'll be written out. And some people want to. I don't get that vibe from a lot of people here, but it always comes. There's always a few that just wanted to be reality
totally.
TV famous.
Andrew, Izzy and Stacy. Stacy's makeup, go. It's a choice. She's making a choice.
She, first of all, she does too much bronzer.
Yes.
There's a lot of bronzer on her forehead,
Yeah.
but in the middle of her forehead. So I keep
Yeah.
thinking that she was like in the dust part of Star Wars, like in just
On Tatooine.
Tatooine. Sorry, y'all, I've been watching Clone Wars, so a lot of Star Wars references lately. But so there's that. And then it's like she took that bronzer brush and after going back and forth on her forehead, she said, "You know what? Let me just run this across my eyes."
It's
muddy makeup.
That's a good word for it. And I would say for a formal occasion that was kind of special dress up, makeup, I could kind of see it, but in a day look under those lights, it feels clowny.
It's just actually, I think a lot of her eye makeup and everything, it's overblended.
That's a
You can
really
actually
good point.
overblend too much.
Yeah.
I don't bring that up a lot because mostly people don't do that.
Yeah. And the thing about her complexion, the red kind of reddish around her eye doesn't do her a lot of favors.
No, she needs to lean into some more pinks.
Yeah.
So
I
and
think she's a
take
pretty
that-
woman.
She's beautiful. Take that bronzer up around your hairline, honey, and just swap it down.
It's a good. I wanted to get that out of the way.
I don't mind a little bronzer touch, but you gotta be careful, y'all. You can't use that like with your white pale skin. You can't use that kind of just. I can't think of another word for it, but dirt color bronzer. You can't just pop that in the middle of your nose. It looks like you're an extra from Oliver.
Please, sir. So she says, "What do you do for fun?" Y'all, this is the fun girl.
Woohoo!
She
Woohoo girl.
she wants to have fun. She's a good solid choice for
Yeah.
a lot of these men. He of course played baseball in college, and I imagined what Izzy looks in his baseball uniform with dad ass.
Wait, who played baseball in college?
Izzy?
Oh, he did.
I think he's the hottest.
He just got hotter.
He's the hottest for me this season.
He got hotter too when I saw his tattoos.
Okay. I guess
I think I'm into him now.
I
for that.
think to me he was the hottest guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But it's taken me a while to be, but not even just looks. It's taken a while for me to be drawn to any. I'm still not drawn to any of the men.
Yeah, there's not this kind of animal thing that happened
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
yeah. Izzy
The way I felt about Bartiz and the way you felt about Brennan.
I
You wanted to fuck him.
maybe
Gary, can you roll that audio?
Maybe, I don't know. Let's talk about Izzy and Johnny. Johnny is a lawyer, and a lawyer,
A lawyer.
as some of my family people say.
I do.
And Johnny basically says, I have a track record. Johnny kind of has this.
Where is my
I have a
notes?
track record. She kind of talks like Penelope, the Kristen Wiig character. I have a track record of like having a crap relationships in
yeah.
relationships, but my last relationship just ended 6 months ago,
One of
and
six
because I wasn't in
kids.
love with them. And she's looking for intelligence, independence, and emotionally stable. And
She said the word frenetic. I chose frenetic guys in the past.
you know what I said? This woman, you can tell she's codependent.
Yeah.
She screams it.
Yeah,
She
I
needs
mean-
to take care of these men who have problems.
Yeah.
And
Johnny, I see you.
I know. Yeah, there's
Here comes Johnny. Here comes Maddie.
so this. She basically says, "I dated a lot of people." She says a lot of people with addiction issues, and she's very, very. She throws around, "I'm a walking red flag," and
Even her mother said at one point, honey, maybe you don't need to be in a relationship.
that laid me out.
And she's like, that hurts. How do you take that? And I went, how do you take that?
Very Darcy.
Yes. But my mother says those things too. Like your mother never talks about your relationship.
No,
right? No.
she would never opine that way.
Oh,
She
my
would
mother,
never say,
right
"You don't need to
after
be
I
in a
broke up with
relationship."
somebody, or right after we ended that.
What
my
did
mo-
she say? You don't need to be in a relationship.
No, she said, well, you really should be with someone. It'll be good for you.
What?
And I was like, I just got out of a 7.5-year relationship.
She told you
Yeah,
that?
she was like, it'll be good for you. You're just happier. And I went,
What?
I said,
Do you know what
"No."
that means? That thinking is still in the back of your mind somewhere.
In
Because
hers.
That when I'm saying how you were raised.
Oh. Thankfully, I think that actually got out because I was single for like 16 years before I got in that relationship.
Yeah.
I think that period got that out of me.
Good.
I'm very happy being on my own. Woo! I'm going to Vegas tomorrow, gay pride, and she's on prep, honey.
I just need. I'm going to give you some doxycycline. The people who are going to Vegas.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Remind me.
Maybe I can find some gay MMA fighters and we can gay.
I don't think that's the thing.
I think gay should be a thing. It's
Like slap fighting?
It's their slap fighting. Yes, slap like girl, and they're fighting, or
And then they just start
it's better.
fucking.
That's they're actual MMA fighters, and it's very masculine. And then they start fucking.
rimming each other.
Yes, kind of like in what's that movie, Bailoff or whatever his name is, he imitates people.
Bailoff.
He was in Sweeney Todd, and he played the hairdresser barber in the movie.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen. Borat.
Bailoff.
Borat.
Borat.
That movie.
How didn't you see that movie?
No, I did.
But-
when they're in Oklahoma and they're fighting, and then he and the guys start making out.
Yes.
And these guys in Oklahoma are crying, going, "No, no!" It's amazing. It's one of the funniest
Or are you
things I've
talking
ever
about?
seen.
You talking about Borat, or are you talking about Bruno?
Oh, Bruno. A lot
Yeah.
of bees. Bruno. That movie,
that
y'all.
conversation was a ride.
That is Oklahoma.
Anyway, so we find out that Izzy was engaged before, but Johnny's been married before.
Yeah.
And put a pin in that because we're going to learn more about that too.
Put a pin in that. Yes.
So
Chris Foster's Dogs on the Weekend. That made me love it. Chris
not
is
there
a
yet.
Oh.
we're talking about Izzy still.
Oh.
Are you trying to rush me through this?
No, I don't mean to. I just looked at the wrong place.
There we are.
I was thinking about gay still.
I know. And I said that, and I wrote down the fact that Johnny thinks she needs to confess that a first marriage before 30 is either shameful or strange I don't think that's strange at all. I think a lot of people have had a failed marriage before 30
What is interesting to me
or their first
is,
marriage. I shouldn't
yes,
say failed.
I agree with you. The starter marriage.
Yeah.
This show is very interesting about where it's filmed. We've had now Love Is Blind in. They've never done L.A. because that probably would be gross. But
Atlanta,
Chicago,
Seattle, Houston.
No, there's 5.
Oh, sorry.
Dallas. They did
Dallas.
Very similar when they did like Dallas and Houston. I
Mhm.
think, even though Houston's a great city. It's an international city, way more diversity than Dallas. And I think honestly, Houston's the best city in Texas. Sorry,
I haven't been there.
It's
a
my
lot.
favorite city in Texas.
I didn't think it was that pretty.
I think it is pretty. It's just you probably went in the summer when it feels like Satan's taint.
It was bad.
and it's 90 degrees with 80%.
I
I
was like in the area of like Rice University because I was staying around there, and it was pretty. But
with the trees.
there
and
was
everything,
there
that
was
really
nothing geographically interesting.
Oh, you're used to. I guess because it is flatter. The ocean is what's interesting. But I get that. I thought it was pretty, but again, Houston's a city you don't live there in the summer.
Okay,
You get out.
all right.
The men are pretty. What I was going to say is it's still Texas. So I feel like a lot of these women are carrying around shame about choices, and we forget this is now you will see a lot of mega churches in Houston. So it's just I just say notice at how the
Is that where
women
Joyce Meyer is?
Oh, I like her.
What?
I don't listen to her because I'm not religious, but I used to love her.
What?
She's probably said
I'm
terrible
gonna,
things.
I'm going to ask you to do a little research.
She's probably said terrible things about
She's
homosexuality.
prosperity gospels and shit like that.
Oh, see, I didn't listen to that.
What do you know
I
about
just
her?
saw her. She was on TV some when I was a kid, and I was like, she's telling it like it is.
That's a really bad take.
That's a
So
bad
I'm gonna let you. That could get us canceled.
But it's a
Um,
bad take.
Yeah, it's a bad take.
No, but also, what's his name? I drove by his church all the time when I took my dad to MD Anderson. Osteen. Oslo.
Joel Osteen.
Osteen, yes. I saw his church is huge. So a lot
Yeah.
of these. Anyway, I just bring up that's the culture of Houston still, y'all.
Okay, so the idea of women are like, oh, I've been married
She's
before.
like, oh, I've been married. Because
Yeah.
Seattle's like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So now we can move on to Chris. Chris is 27. Project. He's this boyish good looks. This is the kind of. He is good looking in a way that is like charming high school boy next door.
He's adorable. Really
Yeah.
pretty eyes. Just, oh, I could just wreck this man.
But you said you weren't into him.
I'm not because he seems so young to me. Like
Okay,
I
I
couldn't do
see.
anything.
He's 27.
Yeah.
I think he seems. I think this show's going to chew him up and spit him out.
yeah. Which has a history of doing. It really did
Yeah.
that to Cole.
And I do see Cole's different though. This guy seems even more kind of bright-eyed and
Yeah,
bushy-tailed.
he does.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you're right. This guy fosters dogs on the weekends,
So cute.
which I'm gonna say, I don't have a dog. To be able to give a dog back at the end of a weekend would be hard for me. I think. I could kind of give a dog back after like 3 weeks, probably when I've like when it's expended its energy and I've said, okay, dog, you and we're here for a little bit of time,
Mm-hmm.
but for a weekend feels like rent a dog, and I think it would.
Do you mean you would fall in love with it?
Or I would be. I don't think I'd want to give it back because I would think we hadn't had enough time together. I would need a good 3 weeks.
You might want to process that.
Seriously.
But no, that's why I won't foster dogs because I'd just keep them.
Because it's one thing for me to like, I can foster a dick for one night.
You're already doing charity work. So
I
look at it that
know.
way. You're already doing good things.
Because y'all, dicks need homes too.
Hi, I'm Sally Struthers. And I'm here to tell you.
No, it would be Mira Sorvino who
Oh,
does
yes.
those commercials.
Far away from here. You see Poodle getting fucked in slow motion. Every dick needs a home
Foster a dick today,
because there's lonely dicks everywhere.
everywhere, for just
For just
$100 an hour.
you can foster a dick.
I mean, they'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yes. Look at this dick. Look how sad it looks.
And she's got a dog, Barry the Beagle, and
Cute. Love beagles.
beagles.
Sissy Jackie has
Beagles are
beagles.
loud,
They're loud and they're hungry, but Sissy Jack, our den mother Jackie, runs her Facebook.
and
she
they can be
loves her
very
beagles.
smart.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Wait, are you a beagle?
I am hungry.
You're
usually.
hungry, you're loud, and you're very smart.
Maybe. Anyway, so and both of them kind of want the same thing. It looks like. And Johnny keeps saying things like, "I've barely been through the ringer in relationships." Y'all, there are ways to say this that are more tactful, because we do see people like Johnny and a couple others and Lydia literally scaring men off. Because there's
Yeah.
a difference between honesty and finding a way to say things that don't make you sound like an absolute, like lemon of a car.
I agree, but I feel like it's really on the second episode, but I feel like Johnny did that in a much more organic, natural way.
She did, but
Because there had been time.
she's mentioned.
But she does kind of lay the seeds of it.
She's
early on.
mentioned, I'm a red flag. I'm a walking red flag.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to set the bar low.
Oh, yeah, I do
Which-
think that, yeah.
That's not. I understand why she thinks it's going to help her. It's not going to help her.
Well, no, it's about you. No, I do that in relationships. So,
Well, do better.
oh, I am. Thanks for being supportive. Wow.
Anyway, you should set the bar high.
Some people set the bar too high.
I don't know what you're talking
Some people
about.
have rigorous standards. And if someone chews gum on the left side of the mouth, they can't date them anymore.
It's the right side. And why should I lower my bar for anyone?
Wow.
Taylor. Taylor is 25 and she's a teacher. She's struggled with loving herself.
She's crying.
And JP, who's a firefighter. I like his little dimples.
He's handsome.
I think he's cute.
he's just
He
not.
looks like Chris Harrison from The Bachelor before Chris Harrison got fired.
Oh, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
he's cute. He's just, he's fine. I don't know. There's nothing about, like, he gets a little more interesting to me.
Yeah. No, he's just like a country boy.
I
I can cook prime rib, chicken Alfredo. Of course you can, buddy.
yeah.
Can you make a grilled cheese?
Yeah, Taylor's
Yeah,
like,
we can do that.
can you make basic food? 'Cause I'm basic.
Now, I will say, these two together are a Friday night out at Chili's.
Oh,
they really are.
They really are.
They are the human equivalent of it.
They love Chili's. They love going to Stagecoach. They
Oh, the Stagecoach Festival.
I love going to Stagecoach. She's a kindergarten.
Crate and Barrel.
Creighton. Well, I love Crate and Barrel. You don't like Crate? It's okay, actually.
It's overpriced for what you get.
I'm more of an anthropology person, and so she.
Boy.
You can't say anything, Erwan.
That's true.
But so she's teaching kindergarten, and so they're talking about all this food, and I mean, they seem like they're getting on well, right? I mean, but JP also talks to Taylor, and then he talks to Stacy, right? Or did I just write her name down
No, you
wrong?
wrote it down wrong.
Because Taylor, these women are really, you're right in that they really are just immediately like kind of just saying, if you give me a knife, I'm going to cut this vein right in front of you and let it bleed out quickly. Meaning that Taylor's like, yeah, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I was drawn to you. I was drawn to you. I was drawn to you.
I was drawn to you too. I guess I got to say it.
It's like it felt so. But then JP says, well, I would propose to you right now.
Yeah. It's this. They do it better than they do it in a play way. Better than
It freaked me out though when he said I would propose to you right now. I was like, this is soon.
I agree, but it feels less. For some reason, this feels less serious.
It's really a game because if I did this, which I'm like, they really, as superficial as men are, they really should do a Love Is Blind with gay men.
Oh,
I think it would be messy and really interesting.
I don't think the conceit of Love Is Blind with the reveal would work at all.
No, it would have so many gay men like you that would just walk away.
Can we trade dick pics at least?
No. You can't do any of it.
I don't think this is going to work. Or at least top or bottom, or at least side.
You're going to figure it out. I mean, probably they would talk about that. You would have to talk about your sexual preference.
I need the doors to be labeled. I need the doors to be tops and bottoms.
I mean, they could do that. A lot of people in the gay
Why
community
waste my time?
Would be really upset by that. But
how so?
Because they would say we're labeling people, but I mean, but maybe everybody's verse
or verse.
Maybe everyone's verse.
They cast everyone. But I'm saying
they cast all verse gay men.
I think you need to know right up top, or bottom.
I don't think you would be the best to test it for gay Love Is Blind.
Nah, you're right.
But I think they should do it.
I tell you what, I'd be memorable.
You'd be memorable.
I'd go in there, and you know what? I'd steal someone's man.
I would do it. You'd probably steal mine. Actually, you would, because we have a different top.
No, I'd do it because I wanted to.
And then you would say at the end, you said, it was what's best for you. Because you would break up with that guy.
And then I'd throw him away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'd fall in love with somebody. Old me. I don't know if new me would. But
no, you're bitter now.
No, I don't think I would now.
Yeah.
But I would have before. So, and it was just a lot. Okay, let's
talk about Uche and Miriam, who I don't know if we're ever going to see again after their talk.
Oh, well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I don't think so. But they, y'all, do you wait till the end to pick someone, or do you wait till the beginning to pick someone? Because if you don't pick someone early on, they're gonna get picked by somebody else.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Miriam is shady as fuck.
Yeah.
She's a scientist, but she's lived here, and I live in the Middle East. But no, I live here now. I'm like, you're lying. Like this is all a bunch of. You want to be a reality star?
It's that, and he's like, so what do you do? Are you in skincare? And he's like, kind of interrogating her. She's like, well, I'm offering a distinct composition. I think she is here to announce her anti-aging. She has found the secret of youth.
But has she?
Yes, it's like death becomes her.
Death becomes her. It's at a water hole out in Katy.
Katy, Texas. So I think we know why we never saw her again, because it does feel a little shady.
She's real pretty, and she wants to be a reality star, 100%.
Moving on to Uche and Aaliyah. Aaliyah's 28 and an ICU nurse.
Oh, she works at the hospital. She said works in Medical City where my daddy was. I wonder if she's at.
I'm going to ask you maybe not to have an attachment to that, and maybe how it colors your thinking about her.
No, I'm going to love her because she.
But that's what I'm saying.
No,
maybe
I can't.
Maybe we can divorce the fact she worked where your father died of cancer.
No, I don't know if she's at Indiana. She's in cardiology, so I bet she's at a
I'm
different
asking,
hospital.
Maybe have a little perspective.
I would like to know.
Okay.
I'd like to know.
So they're talking about nerdy vibes again. To me, it is a complete serial killer vibe. It isn't a nerdy vibe at all.
It's so, and we'll talk about this later, but he's so not even unemotional, just not emotional at all.
And lawyerly, and describes his emotions as though he's working through a logic problem.
And I'm trying to have not sympathy. I'm trying to have compassion because, yes, especially black men in the South, emotions, bad, and all that. But this is on another level. I don't even know this had anything to do with
where
that.
he was from.
We don't know where he grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know about that. Or if we did, we missed it. Because her parents were in the Air Force.
Yeah.
And so she moved around. But we don't know. And that's it. That's something, even on both of these episodes, we don't know a lot about his past.
He's a lawyer. He owns a software company, and because he likes to be his own boss, I'm sure he does really well with people telling him what to do.
Sure.
And anyway, where am I? I think that's...
They go to the women's quarters. They're kind of talking in the women's quarter. Aaliyah's talking about like physical intimacy. It's something to talk about, and I know my sex drive, so it better be up there. And then we get to Stacy and Izzy. And Stacy's like, listen, I can look at your feet and tell you what shoe size they are. This is my subtle way to talk about your dick.
Totally.
And you know why? Because game recognizes game. Poodle and I have both done it.
And Izzy's basically says, Stacy's loud, and she's going to be a good time, but Johnny is sweet and tender.
I'm raunchy and weird. That's what Stacy
That's her
said.
housewife tagline.
Yeah, and Izzy's like, what do you define as raunchy? You.
She's obnoxious as fuck. I think she'll be great when she's out. I don't know if she's going to get chosen. I think she'd be great TV.
I think she might.
Yeah. So Izzy and Johnny he's like, are you a cuddler? And he's trying to ask, he's like, are you into like, are you open to things in the bedroom? Y'all, when a guy asks you that, it means, can you do anal?
Yep.
When he's that's what he's asking.
It does.
Have you done anal before?
Just get to it.
Yeah. And she's like, and Johnny says, I have a few connections, but you're really up there. You're like the strongest one.
Strongest one. But then later we see Chris and Johnny. They're playing games, and Chris is like reading cards, and Johnny's like, "Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper." I don't know what would you say? I feel like and I get it. That's the point of the pods. But what Never mind. I was going to ask you, what do you think when a man says, let's go deeper? And that's so colored because I know what you're thinking, but I'm not,
You know what? You know what?
but not sex aside.
Non-sexually, what it seems
Like,
like.
what would
to
your
me,
reaction be if a guy said, let's go deeper?
I would say, why don't you ask me a question, something specifically? Don't say, let's just go deeper. I'm not going to share. I'm not going to share things because it's tell me your darkest secret.
Yeah, I think that, you know what? I wish the word instead of deeper, the more of like, let's talk about the details of your life. Let's talk about more things in detail.
Or you say, what was a time you talk about your like what was a part that really formed who you were?
Yes.
Yeah, and that way, that's a way of going deeper instead of just saying, "Let's go deeper." Because when I understand what you're talking about. When someone says, "Let's go deeper," immediately you have to say, "Tell me your traumas."
Yeah, it's like you're just saying, let's be sad.
Yeah, or it means let's. It's a kind of a like the game Sorry. It's like a backdoor way of getting to something quickly. Like you're like, oh, or it's Shoots and Ladders where you go somewhere faster.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I love
like-
Shoots and Ladders.
I've not played it in so long.
I bet you cheated.
You know what? When I didn't win, I would flip the board. I'm a board flipper. I admit it. Now, that was when I was a child.
You're better now.
Now I'll just pout when I don't win. Because someone else must have cheated. So Chris basically says, well, they talk about losing virginity, and Chris says, I told everyone that I lost it my junior year, but it was on a trip, and these 3 girls, there was tequila, and this girl basically forced herself on him. He's like, I was looking over at my friend, and she was kind of pressuring me to have sex, and I said no multiple times. I'm like, they're talking about sexual assault here.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't think this has been talked about in reality TV for men. Rarely, often.
I'm sure it has been, but rarely.
Rarely. And she was
There's a lot
kind
of
of like,
shame and stigma in it, just
Yeah.
because it's called, really the betrayal of you feel a betrayal of the body
of your body.
because you still feel an erection.
It's like
those
women
things
who
happen.
have orgasms during a sexual assault.
Yeah.
And they feel
Your
their
body
body's
still is its
betrayal.
own separate thing, and you feel so it's horrible.
So, and he says, and y'all, this is the thing. She kind of unlocks something in him, and he says the baby brother of love is caring for someone. So,
I don't know.
In a way, it's not that I think she was leading him on here, but I think she was testing him out to see what he had. She was trying to see what his emotional hard hand he was dealt, and it felt exploitive to me.
It did a little. I
Like
mean,
she kind of threw him away.
it really wasn't her. It was the producers because they had cards that said, "When did you lose your virginity?"
That's true.
That's really what did it. So it was exploitive because it was producer initiated.
Izzy and Lydia.
Um,
Wow.
it was. I wrote, he doesn't seem that into her.
No, he wasn't into her the first time they met.
No, he wasn't. And I do think Lydia is so concerned with how people think of her. You said she's not reading cues. The cues she's not reading are she's so worried about and concerned with what people think about her. She's actually not reality testing what people think about her.
Right. I agree with you.
For her to do that would take a lot of calm. I'm not saying she needs to be less loud, but I think she needs to be less frenetic.
Well, I don't think she's taking time to actually hear what the other person is saying.
She talks over people,
Yeah.
I notice. She doesn't actually listen to the words and take it in and pause and
Yeah.
then respond.
So, yeah.
That's true.
So they're basically saying everything's in the details.
I love this show.
And you can tell she's a lot for him. And then at one point he says, she says, I just want to feel you. He's like, yeah. And then he goes,
Yeah, that sounds nice.
and then she's like, you're my number one.
It's like,
And Izzy says,
Yeah.
well, I have made a few connections, and I heard you tell me that I was your number one, but have you made any other connections?
Any others?
It's like, yeah, but they're not as good as you. Woohoo!
Okay. All right. Okay, we get a little bit of Uche and Aaliyah. She's talking about having her woman cave and that she wants to. This is when they bond a lot because she's talking about, I really want to be able to paint and play my guitar,
And he's
write poetry.
and he's like, during college, I wrote and performed spoken word poetry. She's in shock. Her favorite movie is Love Jones.
I feel like I saw that, but I don't remember. It was like in the 90s, right?
Yeah. It's
Was
like
it Bill Bellamy in that movie? Bill Bellamy was hot to me.
I'm trying
I
to
think
see.
him and like Nia Long was in it.
Nia Long, yeah.
Oh, Nia Long. I don't remember who the
Um,
main guy was. I forget. I think I did watch it, but I don't remember it at all.
Lawrence Tate, the guy, and it was Nia Long.
God, Bill Bellamy was so hot to me. I don't know if he was in it or not.
And spoken word poetry. Yeah.
What's Bill
Let me
Bellamy
see
doing
if
now?
Bill Bellamy was in that.
He was.
Yeah.
Ooh. What's going on, Mr. Bellamy? Hey, that's
We
a
need-
porn studio. Bellamy.
Spelled differently.
Spelled differently.
Said with a Czech accent. So they are I like to I've got a guitar. I have a Fender. I have a Fender.
I have a
Oh,
yeah.
y'all,
those are pretty
everyone's
popular.
got a Fender.
Those are pretty popular guitars.
What if she said, I have a Les Paul? He was like,
Oh,
you must be really.
yeah. Even if she said like Gibson, you would have been like, okay. No.
Anyway, y'all, it seems to be going swimmingly for them. We'll come
Yeah.
back to that.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to that.
Taylor and JP, he's doing push-ups and spells her name as Taylor.
Taylor, he does spell it. That was pretty funny.
They are made for each other.
And then it was funny when she said, I'll do a push up for you, JP. That was really.
I will say, she's one of the more entertaining
No, I like
women.
her. She's funny. Yeah.
And she calls him, he said, I'm not big on pet names. You're going to be my sugar butt.
And he said, okay, well, then you're sugar. And so.
I'd prefer names that weren't so similar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had pet names for somebody you dated?
No.
Okay. Did they ever have a pet name for you?
Yeah, sometimes, but I'm not into it usually.
You have any pet names now?
The one that I prefer is Hole.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Get on the bed, Hole.
Hole.
Oh, I
or-
love when you talk to me so sweetie.
Poodle also loves he loves being called receptacle.
Hole.
All right. So y'all, I laughed so hard when Lydia walked in and goes, "Hola, mi amor."
And Izzy throws his head back like, fuck.
Fuck. It's like that is the exact look when the husband of the guy walks in that Poodle's been fucking.
Yeah, or when I'm somewhere with the gentleman friend that I'm seeing, and I'm at a restaurant and the waiter is the guy I've been fucking.
That actually has happened, hasn't it? I think about that.
No.
As you date in Los Angeles, how often do you see people you had sex with?
It's happened. You just say, "Hey, how are you? How's your evening?"
That's great. Stillwater's fine. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Still. Tap, please. Could I have a new server? I have a feeling one may put poison or spit in my food.
You can't eat anywhere in West Hollywood, can you?
No, that's off limits.
There's like 2 restaurants you can do in Silver Lake, and that's it.
There's like California Pizza Kitchen and maybe some places downtown.
That's it.
Yeah.
CPK again, hun.
Otherwise, it's like, we can do takeout. We don't need people gawking at us.
Can't we go somewhere else, Hole? No.
Did you know our Uber driver or Uber delivery person? No.
No. Okay. Oh boy.
Anyway,
so Izzy finally he's like, look, it is crazy how I was trying to think, have we had another couple where people have been let down before, but Lydia is just so sure. She's like she is so sure that Izzy is the one for her, and that is her connection. So when he tells her and he starts, this is difficult, and I got to say he was a class act about it.
yeah.
And even she asked the question, which I thought was so sad. She says, "What do you think is missing?"
You guys don't
Oh.
ask that question. The answer you get will never make you happy.
And also, even if they say something specifically about you, it really, believe me when I say this, it really isn't about you.
Exactly.
It's about he had this connection with someone else more
And
intensely.
I feel like people go into this experiment, as they say, knowing that.
But she was so
Takes it personally.
heartbroken about this and personal
And think
about
about the difference of how we don't going over this, but was this in this episode? Let me just to make sure. No, you know what? I won't talk about it.
it. Okay.
Because I don't want to. Yeah, that's in the next episode,
Okay, great.
so I won't do it. But like the difference, ugh. She basically says, he said, it's the chemistry. And she says, this sucks. And this is when she says, I was vulnerable and open with you, and I can't believe this is happening again.
Because I think she feels like anytime it's that idea of, well, if I'm open and vulnerable with you, then you feel that way for me too.
Right.
You'll give that back to me. People aren't giving that back to her, but she's kind of so, it's not narcissism, but she's so wrapped in her own self-doubt. When she does that, she feels like it's then given back to her in some way when it's not.
She needs a dating coach.
I think you know who she reminds me of? Darcy.
Yes. She needs a
does.
dating coach.
She loves love.
And she needs to, definitely in the throes of love addiction.
Yeah, I think so.
And someone who can teach her that this is everything that happens to her on a date isn't personal.
She thinks everything is personal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this experiment was not the right experiment for this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes back in the women's. She's sobbing,
And now she's
and
kind of
Aaliyah comforts her. I love Aaliyah.
and she was, by the end of it, she was guilting him. And she basically says,
yeah, sorry.
have a good rest of your day with your people.
She does. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really hurt. And Aaliyah comforts her, and Aaliyah looks at her. Y'all put a pin in this because next episode, it's this beautiful moment between these two.
Yeah.
Aaliyah says, you deserve to be which I agree. You deserve to be loved by someone who gets you. And I like that Aaliyah didn't throw Izzy under the bus. She said, this is what you need. This is about
Yeah.
somebody who loves you, who gets you. He just doesn't get you. But then she says, and this makes me feel more reassured about Uche.
And Johnny and Stacy are just looking on and watching.
Watching.
And then Uche and Aaliyah. Yeah, this is going to have a lot of people talking.
Yeah. I mean, let's just get to they're meeting. It's so perfect. They're so happy.
And she says,
She
this
says,
guy,
what would be your deal breaker to you? And he says, honesty.
I feel like these are dangerous questions in Love Is Blind.
It's-
And I don't think
Why?
this let me
I think I know why,
preface
but
that.
I want it.
I think these are dangerous questions because you don't really know these people yet.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
You don't know their heart fully. You don't know their situation.
And I don't think she realized that she was dealing with someone who was going to weaponize his own hurt and be cruel to intentionally hurt another person.
I don't think anyone would think that this would happen.
No.
I don't think In fact, I think if you expect that to happen, that's not a normal
No.
response that's not a normal expectation.
But
to
I
have.
want to
That means you've
say,
had it
and I
trauma.
think that's why it threw her for a loop so
Oh.
much. Because this guy has been saying stuff like, "Oh, I'll support you regardless." He even said to her, "Let me know whenever you're feeling insecure, because I will help you."
I would have felt the same way.
Yeah.
The way he acted, I would have completely
Me too.
just shut down and been like,
Well, what happened was, as soon as she said something that was outside the narrative he was constructing in his brain about them as the perfect couple,
Yeah.
or about her as the perfect girlfriend, he flipped and said and immediately started punishing her.
let's get to it. What
Let's
they
get to
actually
it. I was floored.
No, it
watching
was
this.
shocking. She says, so she tells him, she says, like 2 years ago, I cheated on someone because I was before that, I wasn't satisfied for 2.5 years
Sexually.
So we don't know if they weren't even having sex at all. And so that's when Uche said, "Oh, so you're a recent cheater."
But I want to say, even to lead up to that, he said they talk about dishonesty, and then he asked, "Have you ever lied before in a relationship?" Which all of this seems like they're going towards honesty. They're going towards a place where both of them are sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Of course, I'm human, and in the past, I've done things that aren't that." And he's like, "Well, you're. Have you ever cheated on? You've done things. What do you mean? Have you cheated have you cheated in a relationship?" And then he says, "You can be honest. Tell me about it."
Yeah, he says that.
And
yeah.
I want to make sure I underline that, because later on he tells her she should not have said it.
Yeah.
This is unforgivable behavior.
Well, let's tell him what happened.
Sorry, I'm furious.
So she says she cheated on someone 2.5 years ago, and that's when he said recent cheater. And she's
When
like,
was
"Don't
this?"
say that."
Yeah.
And she
2
talks.
years.
She really explained. I thought really well of saying, "I told him multiple times of what I wanted." She went. It seemed like Aaliyah had really tried to explain to this guy
Yeah.
what she wanted sexually, and was not getting it. I'm sure not feeling feelings of desire.
Yeah.
This is very normal in relationships.
And while this is happening, you guys, while she is like explaining herself and sputtering, he's eating a candy bar.
He is eating a candy bar. Yeah, that bugged me too. He's just sitting there kind of chewing on it. And she says, and then he's like, "Well, that's not good. Did you tell your boyfriend?" She said, "No, I did not tell him." And he says, "Why not?" She said, "Well, I didn't want to hurt him." And then in a very lawyer way, he explains to her, he basically mansplains to her and says, "Well, by not telling him, you didn't want to hurt him. You really didn't want to. You really didn't want to hurt yourself.
And you were
wanted to
you were
hide
trying to
that.
make it easy on yourself.
You're trying to make it easier
Weren't
on
you? Your Honor, make the witness answer the question.
Yeah, if you told him about him, maybe it was about you." And I wrote, "What a judgmental prick."
Oh, yeah. So she says, "Yeah, I hated myself, but what good would it have done?" This is the moral judgment that I don't know if I can get past.
I just want to say, she said, "Yeah, I hated myself."
Yeah.
And then his response to that.
And he says, what good would it have done to tell him?" He's like, "Well, you could have made yourself an honest person."
So you said that after someone
Because-
you quote loves just says, "I hated myself," and your response is, "Well, you would have been an honest person."
Yes. And then he's like, "Well, you know what? This is when it went to a third level that I had no idea it could get to."
Yeah.
It's like, "I cheated before, but it was when I was 18 and I only kissed the girl. If I had done that, I would and he's basically says, I had the moral fortitude basically to tell them about it."
And he said, "And I was young, and yeah, I didn't know anybody."
For this guy, all the rules are different than for the women he dates.
Oh yeah. And
Fucking
he-
prick.
You know, she says, "I'm a changed woman because of that." And she's already going within and very somber. And also, y'all, we're not reenacting it, but the tone of his voice is terrible.
It was lawyerly and cruel.
It was cruel.
This is the thing with, this is why you say my opinion won't change about this guy. I don't know how you can be cruel to someone who you think you love in a way like this.
I mean, sadly, it happens a lot, but yeah, it's really
And
terrible.
I-
It's really terrible.
Yeah. anyway, he says, and he says, well, thanks for being honest about that. It almost as a slap.
Almost as a slap. Yeah. And so
She's fucking devastated.
she's devastated. She says she walks out of the room. And
Before that, he says, so do you have mostly girlfriends or guy friends?
Oh, yeah. He does.
Basically, that's leading the witness to say,
Are you a slut?
are you a slut?
Are you a whore?
Will you cheat on me with all your guy friends?
He's not going to want you to be friends with guy friends, so I hope you're not,
This
Aaliyah.
guy will manage the fuck out of her.
Yeah. She walks out of the room and just slumps down the side of the room, is sobbing.
I hope there are no like towels that he can arrange, like sleeping with the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's even gross because he goes out and he's talking to JP and he's like, yeah, this is not a game to me. You know, I've got this value. I've got values and I've got these things. And then JP says,
I'm not lowering my standards.
and I know JP didn't mean it this way probably, but he says, well, can you forgive her? And I went, there's nothing for you to fucking forgive because
100%.
she didn't cheat on you. This is someone and this is something that I think this is something that happens to women in general, but especially in the South, is that there are people that think, oh, well, you know, Derek, he was with that girl, Charlene, who cheated on her husband, but Derek forgave her, and decided to be
Forgave
with her.
Yeah.
That kind of shit I heard all the time about men that would be with women that came from other divorces or they had an affair.
They
in
put
the
it
previous,
behind them.
and they forgave them for that when it has nothing to fucking do with them.
I totally
You guys,
agree.
if you're with someone and if they cheated on someone and had this huge affair, that's none of your fucking business.
Amen.
Just how do they treat you now? Shut the fuck up and take the dick.
That's our next tour T-shirt.
Can we put Uche on the bus?
100%.
Or get the bus?
This is bad,
It's
everybody.
bad. It is a horrible red flag.
And it was
horrible.
I can't get past I know they say they have feelings for each other, but they don't even really know each other. And the way you can be cruel to someone and talk to someone that way so flippantly and then go, oh, well,
It's terrible.
that's the show.
No, it's actually not. You
Oh,
forgot
sorry.
about my favorite part of the episode is when Aaliyah
Oh,
goes back
sorry.
to her and is crying. Lydia now is comforting her.
No
And
one
like
can judge you.
Oh.
No one can judge you.
Lydia said everything I wanted to say, that no one can judge you. She also says that this is giving you clarity of how he is going to react to problematic situations.
Every single time.
She says, you do not want to marry a guy like this, someone who judges you when you're honest. You don't want this. If he doesn't have the capacity to put things aside, he needs to stop blaming other and resolve his own shit. And I went, this is one of those people who doesn't have the clarity for himself, but
No.
Lydia, I need Lydia and Aaliyah to just fuck these men.
But
not fuck them,
No,
do
no,
their
no.
own thing.
But the absolute betrayal
It's beautiful.
of him saying, "You can tell me anything. You can be honest with me," and then to weaponize it.
It's a big narcissist thing. It's a big red
I'm
flag
telling
for
you,
narcissists.
this is a fucking Patrick Bateman level.
It's a bit of like, it makes me wonder, like, what is this guy able to have any type of empathy or compassion at all?
Doubtful.
And it doesn't get better, I don't think, in episode 2.
No.
That's the show now. I just want to talk about it, Lydia. You guys! Ooh!
This is
It's
this is a
good.
good season.
It's good. We're excited. We hope you like it as well. We're going to give you one more free episode on the public feed, episode 2, so you can try before you buy. But after that, we've cuckold, we've teased you.
Yeah.
We've given
I'm
you
gonna
the
be
blue
calling
ball.
you whole.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to join that $5 tier to get all this. But in that tier, we talk about our old episodes of 90 Day Fiance that we talk about. You also get our Bi Curious episode.
Yes.
which is
All
an
of our
episode once a-
binges.
all of our
Selling
binges.
The OC.
Selling the OC, we
The
just
Ultimatum
launched.
Queer Love.
Yes, which was good. Selling the OC, the new season of that just popped off like 2 weeks ago, y'all.
Yep.
So 3 weeks ago. And it's great. So you get all of that for your pleasure.
You said classless, right?
Yeah, I did say classless. All right, everybody. That's the show.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're gonna jump into next episode, but until we see you again, what do you keep asking yourself, Poodle? What should they keep asking themselves?
Call me whole.
And is love blind?
Love is blind.
Love is blind.
Love is blind.
Love is blind.
It's reality gaze presenting. Love is blind.